All right, turn those on. Energy check, iPad check, lights check. Hopefully we sound all right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So first of all, Happy New Year. I hope everyone is starting off on the right foot. Personally, for myself, we hit the gym this morning first thing. We kind of had a night in last night for the first time in I don't know how long for New Year's Eve. So hit the ground running, got a great workout to start the day, then got home and I've kind of just been in the lab since I've gotten back. So knocked out a couple short form videos, first vertical of the year. And also I kind of wrote down some of my goals that I had. And I got to give a quick shout out to Creative Ryan, my homie. We've been talking back and forth like almost every day, talking about goals and just kind of what we want to make happen. I was watching his video this morning. He was talking about his 2024 goals and I had all mine written down. So I'm like, you know what, why not go home, hit record and kind of share some of my goals with you guys and talk about how I'm going to actually achieve them this year and make them happen. Now I mentioned this previously, but I'm not usually a number guy. Okay, when I'm talking about goals, I like to make things more like, hey, I want to make 2 videos a month or 1 video a week or whatever, that type of a goal, instead of like, hey, I want to hit this number. But I decided to kind of throw that out the window, and this year I'm making number goals. Okay, so let me kind of run you guys through where I'm at and what I want to be on these platforms. Okay, so right now on Instagram we are sitting at 130,000 followers, which is, that's a large number. So this year I want to grow from 130k to 250k, which is a huge number, but this past year I gained over 100,000 and I think I can run that back and probably even improve on it. So that's Instagram. Then the next big one for me is YouTube. Okay, so right now we are sitting at 48,000 and about 500. So 48.5k here on YouTube. Now I plan to hit 100,000 here on YouTube this year. I want to get that plaque. I want to put it on my wall. It's been a big goal of mine for a really long time. Yes, I've seen a lot of growth on Instagram this past year and TikTok's doing great now too. But YouTube is what I really enjoy doing and making these longer style videos, which I think are kind of on the comeback. And we'll touch on that here in a bit. But my point of saying is I want to give YouTube a lot of attention this year and I want to make a lot of content and I'm excited to do that. So we're gonna hit 100,000. I obviously need your guys' help and we're about halfway there. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not. We're gonna make that one happen. And then next up is TikTok. Right now we're sitting at a clean 32,000 followers on TikTok. I want to give TikTok a lot of love and attention and I have over the past month or couple months and I've seen a good amount of growth. So I want to continue that. So TikTok, right now we're at 32k and I want to be at 200k in a year from now, which that is the biggest number jump, but I think the most potential to kind of go viral and the most potential to kind of have a spike is over on TikTok. And I know my time is coming with that. So those are kind of my goals. So again, IG, 130 to 250, YouTube 48.5 to 100k, and then TikTok 32k to 200k. Those are some big goals, but I think if you're not making big goals that kind of scare you a bit, you're not gonna make them happen. So we'll see what happens. We'll kind of revisit this in a year from now, but those are kind of like my number goals. And if you guys haven't kind of written down some goals for yourself or kind of what your starting points are, I would definitely recommend you guys do the same, because even if you're trying to kind of track your progress over the next few months, you got to know where you're starting from. So definitely recommend at least writing down what your current stats are and then setting some big goals for yourself, and then it's time to make it happen. Okay, so some other goals outside of just numbers and platforms, right? A couple other things, obviously, as I'm growing and the more and more things I'm starting to unlock kind of with having a larger audience, is brand deals. So one goal for me is I want to have a 5-figure brand deal this year. So something that's at least $10,000, which I know we are going to achieve. And I'm only being transparent with this because I want you guys to recognize what's possible with doing this type of content. I've been doing this for like 3-4+ years for pretty much $0, and this past year is when I finally started seeing some actual money come in from it. So it's a really cool thing, and I think it's something that I always want to share on this channel, because it's not trying to gloat or show off or anything. I just want to show you guys this is what I'm doing. This is what you have the potential of doing as well. So 5-figure brand deal this year, easily we're gonna make it happen, and I know we will. Nick, I hope you're listening to this. Another one is I want to have a multi-month brand deal. So not just a one-off, can be, you know, a 3-peat, or hey, over 6 months, 1 video a month, or whatever it is, right? And another goal of mine is to have some trips planned around creating content with friends, colleagues, brands, whatever that is. Obviously this past year I was invited to a couple Sony events, which were bucket list items for me, and honestly some of my highest points of looking back at 2023. So some stuff like that would be amazing. But then also, in addition to that, if you looked back at my, I think I called it 48 hours in LA, I went out to the 100 Thieves compound around, hung out with Maddie K, Rillo, Sedlum, Low, a bunch of other homies. And that was just me on my dime going out there because I knew a group of creators were gonna get together, and I documented the whole thing and got some really good content out of it. Got to see some friends. The more than that, it's just kind of, after you do any sort of trip like that, you just kind of get hit with this spark of inspiration. So that was huge. When Big Rob, Big E, and Sooner came up to Chicago, got tattoos in my apartment. I showed them a night out in downtown, got some of the best sushi in Chicago. That was one of the best weekends of my entire life, to be honest. So same exact thing. You always get this kind of spark of inspiration after those trips. So those are absolutely necessary. So that's a big goal for me. A couple other things is obviously digital assets are a big thing for me. My vertical overlay pack has been huge. So many of you have picked it up, which means the world to me. I genuinely use them on every single vertical video that I put out. And then as well as my Lightroom presets, those are always hot. I also use those on every single photo that I put out. So both of those have been super successful. I've gotten awesome feedback from you guys as well. But don't you think I haven't been cooking in the background on some V2s? So new packs of both of those will be coming out in the coming months. Another overlay pack, and then of course another Lightroom preset pack. So stay tuned for those. I know you guys are gonna be stoked on them. And keep your eyes out because you might be seeing some of that already in my current content to kind of test some things out. Another goal of mine is to launch an actual physical product. Obviously digital products have been really big for me, but I want to actually make something that you guys can pick up, feel with your own hands, and support me in that way and kind of spread the movement that we're trying to do here. I'm trying to think, what could a physical product be? Stay tuned. Now, aside from goals, just a couple updates for you guys or cool stuff going on. You probably see me with these around my neck in this video, right? These are the Stussy Beats Studio Pro, okay? So I dropped a reel unboxing these, which is popping off, by the way. It's at like 100K views on IG. It's over 150K on TikTok. So you guys must think these are sick too. Oh, hang on. I got a visitor. Come here. You wanna say hey? Come here. You gotta say hey to the camera. Mocha usually sits here in my office when I'm working. She loves sitting behind me, but she says I'm being too loud, so sorry guys. But yeah, these are the Stussy Beats Studio Pro. Now, it's funny enough because I have a pair of the Studio Pros already. I reviewed these a few months back, and I use these all the time for my video editing, listening to music. They are perfect for traveling on an airplane. The noise cancellation is so good. I personally prefer these over the AirPods Max or the Sony XM4s or 5s. I like the look of Beats better. I like the sound of them. So I was a huge fan of these. Then obviously, when I saw this collab dropping, I knew I had to get my hands on them. So check out that Stussy logo on the top, inside the ear cups too. And then this colorway is just super sick. These are obviously kind of like a hype beast piece, but guilty as charged. I think they're sick. Another cool recent pickup, because see, a lot of these things I do, I make short form videos on them. Sometimes they don't justify an entire long form video, but I want to show you guys too, okay? But I recently picked up these right here. These are the Travis Scott Mac Attacks. These are kind of a polarizing shoe, but I personally love them myself. And I'm literally gonna wear these this week, so these are not gonna be sitting on the shelves. You guys probably saw my last video. If you guys didn't check out my office tour, that video is doing great, by the way, so thank you for that. But shoe tour will be coming soon, so hyped I picked these up. Then one more thing, you might recognize this logo. So funny enough, so this is the PM, the Peter McKinnon Nomadic camera backpack. And funny enough, this isn't a recent pickup for me. I picked this up almost a year ago, but the idea of switching camera bags just sounded intimidating. But I've actually been running a giveaway on my platforms for one of these camera bags. And I've used it a little bit, but I think it's time to finally convert over to this. I know so many people have this camera bag and they rave about it. So it is super dope. So I might be making a camera bag video, kind of showing you guys what's in my camera bag, and maybe it's kind of the perfect time to switch over and fully convert to this bag. So let me know if you guys want to see that down in the comments below. Little camera bag video going into the new year. I always love those types of vids. And speaking of what you guys want to see, I mentioned this in my last video, but I want to obviously stay super consistent here on YouTube. And I want to make some videos that are kind of short, sweet, to the point, or they don't always have to be a cinematic movie, right? Like this video, hitting record on camera, setting it up, and just talking to you guys. So if you have any ideas of videos or topics you want to see from me and on this channel, please let me know down in the comments below. Genuinely, I'm going to read and respond to each one. I want to know what you guys want to see, because I want to switch some some things up this year. I want to stay super consistent and put out a ton of content. So please let me know. So bringing this back full circle to kind of the goals point, I have a lot of goals. I want to stay super consistent. So how am I actually going to make these happen this year? I kind of pride myself on staying consistent because I sacrifice a lot of my own personal time to do so. But especially now living with a significant other, we have 2 dogs here as well. You saw Mocha. I work a full-time creative job. I'm trying to live a balanced life with eating healthy, going to the gym, especially with, you know, being on last year, I was on, I think 60 plus flights. My schedule is chaotic. It's tricky and it's hard to stay consistent, honestly. So especially having all these layers in my life now, I'm going to be better about planning out my time. So I want to look at my week in advance because every week is different. Some weeks I'm traveling, some weeks I have photo shoots every day, and some weeks I have none of that. So I want to look at my week in advance, work and also personal time, and then kind of plan out my days. I want to know what days or nights I'm going to be editing or recording, plan out my content in advance. So I'm sitting down and knowing exactly what I'm executing at that time, because we all know that feeling of when you wake up and you're like, oh man, I need to post something today. Oh, I don't have anything to post. Okay, I got to come up with an idea. Then you have to come up with an idea, film the thing, edit the thing, and then also post it. That's a nightmare. It happens sometimes, but you're trying to be consistent and you aren't doing this full time. Even if you are doing it full time, that's just not the way to do it. So I want to plan out my week, including some of my personal time, know when the date nights are, know when my full content nights are, and that way I kind of always have a plan of what I'm gonna do. And then lastly, I want to get help if I need to. So I've talked about this in the past, but I'm sure at some point this year it will happen. But eventually I'm gonna need some help with editing these videos, whether it be long form videos, short form videos, some parts of my content somewhere, right? Or maybe, you know, I start doing a lot more types of videos. Like when I went downtown and tested out the Like Q2, I had a bunch of other friends that helped me shoot content. I got B-roll of myself and it was so nice. I had BTS photos and B-roll of me creating content, which it just helped out so much. So maybe I get some help with shooting some content here in Chicago. Maybe I get some help editing. We'll kind of see what we're looking like here in a couple months, but I could definitely see myself getting some help if I need it. And things are gonna be growing, so I expect to need it. But guys, that is really it. That is my plan, and that's how I'm gonna make it happen here in 2024. Right now, I'm really fired up about it. I got a great group of people around me. We all have some crazy goals to make happen this year. And I genuinely think, even though some of them sound a little scary or intimidating, that I'm going to achieve all the goals that I laid out. So it's time to make it happen. So I hope you guys are starting this year off right, and I hope you're kind of doing the same thing. So I appreciate you guys. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. We are on the road to 100K. We are getting that plaque this year. And I will catch you guys in the next video very, very soon. Peace, guys. Let's go. This was probably longer than I thought it would be.